The 49ers drafted Ricky Pearsall. Now, I'm just going to say this. Everybody in the media thinks it's because they're getting ready to trade Brandon Aiyuk.
What's up, Commanders fans? So a lot of people have been seeing Brandon Aiyuk and Jayden Daniels together. And they've been thinking like, okay, when is this going to happen? And is it going to happen? And I feel like it's a possibility, seeing as though we have enough money to go get Brandon Aiyuk. But it seems like the San Francisco 49ers are not trying to give him up. Of course, it's time for Brandon Aiyuk to get a big payout. It's one of those things where it's just bad timing because it's almost time for Brock Purdy to get paid. Seeing as though Brandon Aiyuk and Jayden Daniels have played together, it can make you feel as though they'll do great together if they decide to play on the same team. But it's all going to come down to the 49ers and if they decide to let go of Brandon Aiyuk and not pay him what he feels he's worth. And that's really what the holdup is. The holdup is that Brandon Aiyuk is not just trying to take anything. And he feels he deserves a lot. And of course he does. He's been doing a good job. He helped them get to the Super Bowl. Of course you would want that big payout, seeing though you're about to get your second contract. So I can see why Brandon Aiyuk is holding up the team. But you got to understand, they have a lot of star players on their team. So it's going to be very hard to try to pay him and pay Brock Purdy in a few years. So it's still a possibility. But at the end of the day, it's going to really come down to, if they don't pay him, what are we going to give up? Are we going to give them more than they would have paid him? Or is another team going to come out of nowhere and decide to give up a whole lot of money for him? And that's really what it's going to be. And, of course, Jayden Daniels and him both have chemistry. So that's one good thing that could make us get him, that could really lure him in and make him feel like, hey, you know what? I might as well go to the Commanders. I'm sure when they linked up, they talked about it. They said, bro, hey, man, look, I'm at the Commanders. We got the money. What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? If the 49ers don't cut you a check, come on. What we going to do, man? We going to go up. We got Terry already. We already got Jahan Dotson. All we need is you, bruh. We got Luke McCaffrey. Like, he going to make a huge difference. I don't know. We got Ben Sinnott. You know what I'm saying? We got Cole Turner. We got Brian Robinson. We got some heavy hitters. But is the 49ers going to let him go? That's the big question. And if they don't let him go, this conversation is for nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all going to come down to what the 49ers do. I don't see nothing wrong with Brandon Aiyuk coming over here, but I'm not sure if he's going to mesh well with what Terry already has going on, seeing that he's the number one wide receiver. What's so crazy is Jayden Daniels already has a top defense. I'm going to put it there and put it out there already. He already has that. But for him to go get a Brandon Aiyuk, that would be everything we need right there. And, of course, we still need a little bit of protection, some extra protection on the line. I think we need like one more good player on the line, and I think we'll be set for this season. But if we get Brandon Aiyuk, come on now. Now, them playoff wishes, they looking like a possibility, a huge possibility. And by the way things look on the depth chart, when I seen it, it looks like he's going to be starting. So if he's starting, why not give him the best opportunity, seeing that he's going to be on a rookie contract for the next 5 years if they don't decide to sign him early? Think about it. At the most, we have 5 good years of just finessing everything on the team, right? We got the space. We got the opportunity. He's not getting big money right now. We have the opportunity and space to just see what we can do if we were to, go all out for him right now. So it might be a little too early. We might want to give it like a year to really see what we can do. But who knows, man? I think we've done enough to really put ourselves in a good position to make it to the playoffs. But to win in the playoffs and to make it to the Super Bowl, man, that would just be a dream for us. And we haven't been there for a very long time. So imagine if we were to go out and get Brandon Aiyuk. I think we have such a great player. We have a guy that works day in and day out. And I'm sure right now and all day he's probably been studying, just working on little stuff. I'm not sure if he got access to the playbook just yet, but I know he's been studying and, working on what he can. And that's what you want out of a quarterback who doesn't feel like he's already the best. You know what I'm saying? He knows he can be the best or he can be better. And that's something that I really enjoy about Jayden. And I just like the fact that he's surrounded by key players. And his locker room is looking sweet. He got Marcus Mariota. He got Jeff Drexel. Jeff Drexel. And then he got Jake Fromm. I'm not sure if Jake Fromm is going to be there by the end of this offseason. But he also has Sam Hartman, right? He's a guy that has done great in college. And, of course, I felt like he should have came out his 2021 year, but he didn't. And I just feel like he's surrounded by somebody of his age bracket to where he feels comfortable and, he can level up and not be in it just by himself, because sometimes when you have a veteran or a mentor and they're not around your age bracket, you could feel like, all right, bro, I'm tired of listening to you. Where you have somebody that's going through it with you, it feels much better. I don't know how to explain it, but you just got to understand, like, whenever you're doing something and you have somebody, like, say, for instance, at your job, right? For instance, me, I work at a job with a lot of old people. But when you find that one young person that's around your age, you just click on a whole nother level. So imagine that in your locker room, somebody that you got to go to work with every day. And think about it. In the quarterback room, these are people that they're going to be around a lot more than the other players. So imagine having somebody that came out of college the same year you came out of college, that's been through the same struggles, around the same age. And it just makes bonding and your NFL experience even better. I'm just thinking about all the ways that Jayden Daniels is really going to have a great year, honestly. I think he's surrounded by great players. I'm just excited to see what this locker room overall, every player from top to bottom can bring to Jayden and what Jayden can put back on the players. And I think this team is way different than any of the last teams we had in the last 20 plus years. And I think we have the structure, the foundation for him to really be successful. And I can't wait to see what Cliff Kingsbury does with him and how he involves him in his system. And we got a long season ahead of us. But right now is the time to really put in your predictions and what you think can happen. And honestly, I think we can be a playoff team. And just think about who Cliff Kingsbury has coached. Caleb Williams, right? And of course, he's not responsible for all of Caleb Williams' great aspects and, traits. But think about this. If Cliff Kingsbury can teach a guy like Caleb Williams, a high-profile guy, a guy like Kyler Murray, who has an attitude problem. At one point, he had one. But you can see it. You can see it, of course. Imagine what he can do with a Jayden Daniels. Jayden is very humble. So imagine what you can do to a humble person. And a guy that knows he needs to do better. He knows he needs to be better. Bruh, imagine what you can do with somebody that doesn't listen or that's hard to get through, like a Kyler Murray. And then a guy that's super arrogant, like a Caleb Williams, to a humble Jayden Daniels.